Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Belichick's Bitches podcast, the number one podcast in the world by some sort of metric, using the best source, the only source. Do you trust me? I'm your host, Brennan, and along with me, as always, is my co-host, Tyler.
And we're not recording on a Friday night. Huge props to us for actually record time.
Or you could also call Tyler that guy with a
This
Megatron
week,
signed
I don't
football.
even know, man.
What?
You fucking overdid it on Christmas, and of course you sent. Of course, you overdid it for Christmas, and then you
That's
let me
not.
know.
I can over.
Too late
That's
to
not
send
overdoing it. I
to
can
get.
overdo it if you want me to overdo it.
No, don't even. Don't even. So yeah, this man literally just sent me a Calvin Johnson signed football. Just out of just because that's what most Saints they totally normal behavior. You better really hope January don't come around, bro. You better hope, bro.
I mean, you don't have my address, so.
On the 4th. You act like I'm not gonna get that. Anyway, ass hat. Good person, but ass hat.
What?
So this week with football, you know what?
I don't know what's going on.
You know what?
No, I literally don't. What are you talking about?
Man. So, I'll be honest. I was supposed to watch a lot of football this weekend. I kind of napped the entire day instead. So this should be interesting. But I did watch some. Mostly. We just give a handoff to how bad Houston is.
They're so bad they made Mitch Trubisky look like a decent starter.
If I was a Broncos fan, I'd be watching a lot of highlights too.
Ha, 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 ha. I'm totally just not busy on Sundays yet.
Want to hear something funny? Trubisky has a higher win percentage than Deshaun Watson. Ha.
But McCubey wins. McCubey wins. The best quarterback always wins.
One's getting paid and one's going to be a free agent next year.
Very true.
I don't know, man. Where do you think Trubisky would fit? Because I guarantee
he was a third overall pick. He's second overall pick. He's definitely gonna get another shot somewhere.
I'm trying to think of where. I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe I don't know. The more I think about it, I can't think of it. Maybe a backup job in Kansas City,
New England.
In the season with Andy Reid and
New England. Excuse me.
I mean, New England definitely is going to pick up a quarterback or two.
Maybe Atlanta.
I highly doubt Stidham will be on the roster next year. I doubt Hoyer will be on the roster next year. Atlanta would be a good one.
Maybe Atlanta.
But I don't know what the contract on Schaub is. It's probably not too big.
Schaub's a free agent.
He's a free agent?
Yeah.
I know he's been with Atlanta for years. The backup. Matt Ryan's so healthy, you really don't need a backup over there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Trubisky's probably a backup type guy, the way his career's kind of going.
You either be a career backup or get 1 or 2 more years of seeing the field occasionally, and then you'll just be out of the league completely. I don't think he's going to be a career backup guy. He'll probably just be. He's here for a few years, then he's gone. Honestly,
yeah, you never know.
Because I don't really see him as that Ryan Fitzpatrick type.
No, you have to have an attitude to be a mentor type guy.
Yeah.
You have to have that attitude, but also we're not talking about New England this.
Yes. We just did. You literally just did by bringing them up.
We have to talk about any game they're playing. Oh, you know what? Shut up. So, this is one game I didn't even watch the highlights of. I just saw the score. Embarrassing. Cowboys beat the Bengals, finally. I mean, the Cowboys haven't won a game in, a month and a half.
Oh, probably.
Feels like. I mean, I don't know how Mike McCarthy still has a job.
I
I
I
really don't.
I
I know.
heard
I
like
know it's his only
I
his
don't know if
first
it was
year.
like just complete rumors or if
No.
they were confirmed, but I heard like rumors that he actually lied to get the job. I don't remember where I saw that. I just remember hearing
Lied?
reports about that.
How do you lie to get a head coaching job?
I don't know, man.
How
It's
do you
Jerry
lie to
Jones
get?
though,
That's
so
funny. But another thing I just another job I'm kind of interested in is Zach Taylor. He's been the coach for this is his second season, right?
yes,
So
I think he's
is this
secure.
seat hot
Honestly,
in your opinion? Because
no.
they
I would
it
say
has to
no.
be.
I would say
Think
no, honestly,
yeah, because they let him draft Burrow and
because he had Andy Dalton and Ryan Finley his first year, and no offensive line. Now they got Joe Burrow, who has showed immense promise before getting hurt. Um, and I also think they had a really solid draft class. They'll be in a position to get Penei Sewell, and then maybe if Jonah Williams can actually stay healthy, they might be able to have a decent tackle duo if they get Penei Sewell in the draft. I think Zach Taylor gets at least another 2 years in Cincinnati, unless he does something that's abhorrent.
just beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where when you even think of NFL head coaches, you list them. Taylor's usually one of the last ones you even think. Like, who's the coach of Cincinnati? I don't know. It's just one of those ones you don't really think about. I think the issue I kind of brought up, and that's the reason why I put it in the script, is his offense. I don't. It just doesn't seem like it's as innovative as it was hyped up to be. He was hired. Everyone said he's going to bring this, offense to the NFL. It's like I don't know. I just haven't really seen it. Burrow was just god tier with them though. Burrow was the offense. Him and Boyd had a good thing going together. That connection was pretty strong, but we'll see. This was one game apparently that was like
That was
really good.
my game of the
And again,
week.
I napped
My game of the week.
through it.
The
Baltimore's
prediction
almost
right, but I was
11, man.
extremely close.
Well, yeah. None of us actually got game of the week right because there was a game that was game of the year for no reason. We'll talk about it later, but I mean, yeah, Mahomes kind of threw 3 picks, which was I don't know. Finally, been making some pretty risky throws lately, so I guess it's just kind of karma catching up. I think Tua threw his first pick too. If I'm not mistaken.
He should have had it against Denver, but it's besides the point.
Tua is lucky boy.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of I think there was I'm not huge in the advanced stats. I take this with a grain of salt. He's had like 5 turnover worthy plays, and that was his first pick. Just really lucky. Tua hasn't really been taking a lot more risks though than I thought he was going to be taking when took over. I thought he'd be more conservative.
He's just kind of been like an average rookie. Honestly.
And I mean, it's not. I mean, it's kind of what you expect out of a quarterback his first year. But I honestly think he probably gives them better shot to win, just because I feel like his potential in games. Yeah, Fitzpatrick, his max is maybe 275, 2 touchdowns and a pick. His minimum is like 120 and 4. So I don't know. I feel like starting Tua, even in the playoffs, makes the most sense. I don't think they should bench Tua again unless.
Oh yeah, if you start Tua in the playoffs, I think that'll be some great experience for him. He gets to learn how to actually prepare for a playoff game. It's more you get to see how he performs under that sort of pressure. I think that'd be a great thing for Tua, especially so early
I'm
on.
not trying to be mean, but it's not like the Dolphins' goal this season was making the playoffs even. I feel like they've probably outperformed even their own expectations because they've been really good. A lot of areas people weren't expecting. So I feel like when they played Lamar, Lamar was a rookie. They played him in that wildcard game, and he wasn't ready.
Yeah,
he just wasn't. So I mean, I think it's just something to see how he handles the pressure, and Tua's got big game. Tua's got big game, moments. I feel like he'll be better than people expect.
Yes and no, he does and he doesn't. It's kind of my hot take on Tua because his only really great game came from the game when he came off against he came off the bench against Georgia. That was his best
It's your
playoff game. Was in that natty, and then on the other big playoff games he started, he's looked kind of he was all right. It wasn't nothing special that you're getting from the regular season or you're seeing or that you saw in the natty against Georgia.
Yeah, and he has dealt with I think the last season before the hip injury or the season before that, he was a sophomore. He had that ankle issue. Remember, he had the stuff inserted into his ankle, the rod.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's what kind of people chalk up his playoff performances. But I think it'll be interesting. I really do like what Miami's. I think Miami's future is insane.
Oh, I
know New England
agree.
has both the Bills and the Dolphins in their same division. Damn, and they're probably gonna have Trevor Lawrence in there. That division is gonna be nice.
The AFC is finally looking like it's going to turn things around.
It might have New England as the bottom feeder.
Good.
Replace New England Patriots. Who knows? Belichick will come back with some voodoo magic and win 12 games next year. Who knows? This was the one game I did watch, though. Because I fell asleep watching it and I woke up a few times. Hassan Reddick is a monster, apparently, against Andrew Thomas.
I mean,
he's not that good every other day of the week. For some reason, versus Andrew Thomas,
he got 3 sacks off Thomas.
And the other 2 were when he went on the right side against.
It wasn't against Pert because
see that guy.
I know it wasn't Pert.
Was he playing guard?
I don't know where Matt Pert is playing, but I was watching the film. I was watching the him getting his 5 sacks, and 3 came against Thomas. 1 came from the right side, and 1 came from because Daniel Jones decided to hold the ball for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas, man, he has to work on his technique. Every time he gave up a sack that game, he got beat to the outside almost instantly. He just full on committed to the inside rush every single sack that he gave up, and Hassan Reddick didn't have to do much except kind of throw his hands off to the side and just get around the outside and a wide open shot at Daniel Jones every time. I don't know what he was doing.
Especially against such a fast guy like Reddick. He's sub 4.5. I mean, that guy, he's one of the faster, interior guys in the league. And you're just playing the inside. It didn't make much sense.
Yeah. Giants definitely need better coaching for their offensive line because that offensive line has been abysmal this year. They had their O-line coach was Mark Colombo, and he was fired after Week 10. Their new O-line coach is Dave DeGilmo, and he hasn't been much better. So definitely look for the Giants to get a new O-line coach this coming off season, and hopefully he'll actually work with the offensive line because it seems like none of the offensive linemen have really been worked with this season.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're wasting a year of development for Thomas
and Pert
because and I don't know. I just felt bad. I mean, I almost feel like Reddick was surprised, especially on the last sack he got. I think it was one you saw. It was on the left side against Thomas, where Thomas literally just bit in. All Reddick literally had to do was just kind of he didn't even have to touch Thomas. Literally just got around, ran around him.
Yeah,
got a free sack. It was bad. It was bad. Who won NFC Defensive Player of the Week? Because it was either him or Young.
I don't see how you can vote against Hassan Reddick. Literally 5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
I think it was Reddick, honestly.
Shut up, man. I mean, I feel like that's kind of should be, but who knows with the NFL and voting on their weekly awards.
True.
I mean, didn't they give Lamar Offensive Player of the Week? Now,
yes. Yes, they did.
Granted, probably should have been Derrick Henry.
Yes. Hell, you could even probably given it to Drew Lock over Lamar Jackson.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not saying he deserves it. I'm saying statistically, he had a bigger game.
I think I sent you
You sent me that picture a lot, yes.
Oh my, because it's funny as hell. So, okay, so the Vikings were playing the Bucks, and first of all, Vikings choked that game away like I've never seen before.
Wow,
Literally
Buccaneers
dominated.
playing
They
very
dominated.
well against a bad team. What a surprise.
Well, they dominated time of possession 40 to 20 minutes. Right, right off the bat. If you see a 40 to 20, you think, well, that's kind of a blowout. No, and then Dan Bailey decided not to show up today.
When
He
does
was
okay? When does any Viking kicker ever show up to play? Let's be honest here.
listen, man. Blair Walsh is somewhere laughing. Okay, and man, chuckling to himself. So yeah, Dan Bailey missed like what 3 or 4 kicks. He missed an extra point. Missed like a 38-yard field goal. Embarrassing. So that happened. So then at the end of the half, Brady chucks up a Hail Mary to Gronk to the end zone. And Gronk gets assaulted. That's a nice way to put it. He has 2 players next to him are both pushing off of him, which, that happens on Hail Marys. Everyone knows. What caused the controversial, quote unquote, pass interference was the third Viking defender running into Gronk's face, not even looking at the ball with his hand, both of his hands on Gronk. And, well, the ref kind of called pass interference because, well, the most textbook definition of pass interference.
Yeah.
And people were mad about it because it was on a Hail Mary. You can't do that. I don't understand how people were saying that wasn't a pass interference. And trust me, if you look up the close-up shot, I can promise you,
Yeah.
it's pass interference.
The situation
So they got a
doesn't
field goal.
define what the penalty is.
That's what I'm saying. I never understood that thing where Hail Marys is everything should be where everything goes. It almost is like that. I mean, you've seen some of the Hail Marys that have happened. I mean, you'll see guys getting freaking ripped down, and
because it's a Hail Mary.
I don't know. Gotta follow some freaking play. Follow the rules, man. Granted, if that happened against me, I'd probably be pissed off too. But so Vikings choked, which is beautiful.
Buccaneers continue to do Buccaneers things. They beat the bad teams, but they struggle mightily against good teams.
I mean, and Brady had a couple good deep balls, had a couple really shaky short throws. I don't know, man. I feel like Tampa Bay, it's too late in the season to make an offensive change.
Yeah.
That would, revolutionize.
They'll probably make wild card, but they're probably not going to get past wild card.
Well, it depends. If they get like, Washington or something like that, or maybe they get one of the NFC West teams. I feel like they could squeak by.
I mean, look at that. Your own words.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying. Now, I am saying if Washington gets a home playoff game against Tampa Bay, probably would bet some money on Washington. I'm just saying. But Washington is one of the hotter teams in the league. So,
who would have thought we'd be saying that?
I did say in the offseason that I really, 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 really liked their draft and free agency. I'm not trying to make fibs, but could say I called it. No, I'm not saying that. I still expected them to be complete trash.
Yeah, you did.
You want to talk about your Broncos? I didn't even watch that game.
I did. Wow, Panthers defense is bad. Panthers defense
they're
is
young.
Bad.
They're really young. I mean, they had all 7 of their draft picks were rookies.
Yeah, and we also had we're also playing that game without, I think, 3 of our starting offensive linemen. Yeah, because we were playing without Garrett Bowles. We played without DeMar Dotson. And we also played again without Graham Glasgow. So we had Calvin Anderson, rookie 6th-round pick Natane Muti and Elijah Wilkinson starting as 3 of our 5 offensive linemen. Imagine making Drew Lock look like a very good quarterback. Couldn't be me. At Panthers defense. I mean, credit where credit's due. Pat Shurmur did a great job calling that game. That was probably his best game that I've seen him call this year. Drew Lock did well not being Drew Lock. He actually got past his first read a few times. He wasn't always trying to chuck the ball deep just to get a big play instead of throwing to his wide open check down. He had a few miscues where it's like, there's the Drew Lock I know. Like one of them I remember is on a screen pass. I think it was either to Judy or Tim Patrick. And the dude doesn't even, like, he throws the ball flat-footed, and you know how much I hate that. He doesn't even step into his throw. And the ball just goes sailing into the dirt right in front of the receiver, and it's like, you just kind of facepalm like, yep, there's Drew Lock. That's the Drew Lock I know. Shout out to Jeremy Chin for getting a forced fumble on a sack, though. That's my boy. Also, we have like no cornerbacks anymore. Our only notable cornerback is
Von Miller.
Our only notable cornerback is Michael Lojamudia, the 3rd-round pick from this year. Everyone else is pretty much dead. Everyone else is on IR.
Von Miller's gonna be playing there next week in his wheelchair. Wheel him out there and play corner. Hey, can't be much worse.
True. I think we actually just signed some corner off the Niners practice squad. I don't remember what his name is though.
Or you could do like you always do and just snag a New England corner off of like the late part of our roster. I've done that like 2 years in a row. Keon Crossan and
Duke Dawson.
There's another one. Duke Dawson, yeah. All just sniped our corners, man. Too bad they were trash, but
Duke Dawson actually played well this season.
Isn't he more of a safety now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he plays more safety now.
But
he's played corner this year because that's how bad it's been.
But he does have a lot of speed. That was like his. I mean, you drafted him in like the 2nd round.
Yeah, you drafted him in the 2nd. I think we gave you like a 7th for him.
Yeah, it was. I don't understand, man. What we need to have Pete Carroll come into our draft board and draft our 2nd through 7th rounds. That's all we really need, man. Not our 1st round because
you shouldn't give the 1st round to Belichick either.
No, definitely not. Because, oh man, N'Keal Harry. I told you I wouldn't talk about New England this week. I hate them.
Also, Garrett Bowles, top 3 offensive tackle. I'm not taking no for an answer.
Initially, when this happened, like I told you, I said I wanted to hold off until like next season to see what he would do in a packed stadium again.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really make that argument because he still hasn't dropped off at all.
And he hasn't given up a single sack, I think, this year. Or at least in 481 pass blocking snaps, according to Pro Football Focus.
Calm down, man. Dude needs
with his most long tackles this season. He's also
really
the highest graded offensive tackle by Pro Football Focus.
Went from being a complete bum, and then he kind of improved last year, and then all of a sudden he's elite.
Yep.
Also, why do the Raiders just refuse to be consistent? Even with the Colts that beat them. Can't either of these teams just be consistent?
I mean, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I kind of told you so. Because this was your game of the week, wasn't it? This I don't trust the Raiders. The Colts are much more well-balanced. And that's exactly what it showed.
My game of the week was Washington. My game of the week was Washington Niners.
Was it? I thought it was Colts Raiders.
That was Washington Niners.
Oh.
That was the game I wanted to see the most. Just slept through it, and I didn't get it on my TV anyway. But my game of the week. Yeah. But Raiders, man, it's just they have a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong.
Defense.
I really like the talent on the team. It's just that it doesn't seem like there's enough cohesion
Did
among
you
the team from week to week. I
did
mean,
you
sometimes the team looks great, and then other times the defense looks like
did you
trash.
see the
I don't.
highlight of Zach McKinley getting pancaked by a wide receiver?
Oh, that was Vic Beasley. That was Vic Beasley.
Oh, that was Vic Beasley. I know they have
It
both
was Vic
the
Beasley.
former Atlanta defense edge rushers, but
Yeah.
come on, yeah, Vic
Yeah,
Beasley got
he literally
pancaked
went
by
off
a
the
wide
line.
receiver. The wide
Went
receiver
off
was
the
staring
yeah,
him down the entire time.
he never looked at him. Like he never looked at the receiver.
Yeah.
And, normally you kind of check the receiver to see what he's about to do. So Vic Beasley got off the line, and he thought he was going to go one-on-one with the tackle. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Pittman,
Yeah, I think it was Pittman.
just freaking
Decked him.
and just stared at him. And imagine getting decked by a guy half your weight.
That was
I mean, that's
hilarious.
gotta-
Seeing that was hilarious. Like the offensive tackle just like looks and was like, "What do I do now?"
took my job away. And then, but yeah, it was
Sign
sad.
that guy to the
Vic
Giants as an
Beasley-
offensive tackle. Sign Michael Pittman to the Giants as an offensive tackle.
Michael Pittman is a large individual.
For a
I didn't
receiver,
even
yes.
realize that, though. For a receiver, he's a large individual. I was like, damn, man. No, I don't know. I just want the Raiders to be consistent, man. I want to
don't.
like the Raiders.
I don't.
Because I want to like Chucky. I want to like Chucky. It's hard because they're just so inconsistent. That's been a lot of the AFC teams this year. Have you noticed?
Yes.
The AFC teams are just so inconsistent.
I feel like that's been this year in general for the most part. I think pretty much every like top tier team has been inconsistent. I don't think there's really a team that hasn't been inconsistent.
Chiefs.
The Dolphins, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, 3 interceptions. But did you see the sack that Mahomes took? No, we're not talking about that. You see the sack he took?
No, I didn't.
So he rolled right. It was on, I think it was 2nd down or 3rd down. So he rolled right, and they wasn't going anywhere. They had to contain up. He wasn't going. So he circled back. When he circled back, he thought he was going to just kind of do what he normally does, where he kind of runs past the linebacker. He's normally faster than most linebackers, and he was going to sprint upfield and either throw the ball or run it. Well, the guy chasing him down was Jerome Baker, and Baker's not very slow. So Baker just cut him off on his lane. So Mahomes went back even more and then got sacked. Like it created like a 30.
Oh yeah, it was like 3rd and 34 or something like that. I mean, 4th
like a
and
30-yard
34.
loss.
Yeah.
It was like a 30-yard loss.
I have a question for you.
You know, that's
Super Bowl pick for AFC and NFC. What's the Super Bowl going to be right now?
oh boy, on the spot.
Yep.
I don't want to be that guy, but I have to go Chiefs in the AFC. I don't see a team beating.
Oh, I 100%
the
agree.
AFC.
I 100% agree. Chiefs.
I just don't think the Steelers can do it. I just don't see it. I don't see any of the AFC competitors knocking the Chiefs off list. Bills are the only team I feel like that pose a threat. I don't know if they have the firepower. NFC, there's only 2 teams I can think of. It's either Saints or Packers.
Really?
Packers. I just don't. The only other team the NFC is just. I mean, maybe the Rams is a dark horse team that could get in because they're just really good, just the basics. I mean, maybe the Rams. But I feel like if I had to pick one, it would probably be the Saints. I feel like they get Breeze back. I feel like the offense will find a solution late in the playoffs. And I feel like Breeze kind of holds off in his final stand. So I'd go probably a popular one, but Saints, Chiefs.
I definitely agree with you on the
I don't really
AFC.
believe in a lot of the...
The only challenger to the Chiefs is really the only challengers to the Chiefs is the Bills. And they've already played this season. The Chiefs won 26-17. But my NFC pick, I just can't see myself picking against the Rams, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't trust the Packers at all. because they're the Packers, and
I don't either.
I don't trust the Packers. I have this inclination, and plus also past experience. Don't trust the Saints in the playoffs. Unless it's 2010 or 2011, which year was that? Don't trust the Saints in the playoffs.
The issue that I have
I'm going with Rams.
is
100%.
I really like the Rams. My one worry about that team, I think the defense is great. I think the passing offense is great. I really even like the rushing attack. I don't know if they can outscore Saints. I feel like if that Saints offense gets hot, I don't know if the Rams can score 35, 40 points to win the game. That's kind of why I picked the Saints in that issue. Plus, I feel like it's going to be Brees' last go. I feel like that's kind of the writing's kind of on the wall for Brees. It's kind of feeling like his last season.
I mean,
Especially with how I hate to say this, I hate to say it. The Saints look kind of decent with Taysom Hill.
I can see the Rams keeping up with Saints offensively. Honestly, I think the Saints defense is a bit overrated. I think we saw that a bit against the Eagles.
The defense is definitely. They're definitely a little shoddy. Hurts played a hell of a game. But one thing I say this,
and I think McVay really wants
Packers
to
beat
get back
the
to the
Lions.
Super Bowl.
Shocker.
I think you can see that McVay just wants to get back there.
He does. He is an angry boy. He off from that Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I love it.
Yeah.
But can I just say this about the Packers game, because it was kind of an irrelevant game. Frank Ragnow, the center, fractured his throat.
I don't know how you do that.
First of all, I don't even know what that means. The only thing I could think of is he broke his Adam's apple. He played through it for 3 quarters.
Fractured larynx. Maybe? I don't know.
But I feel like if the larynx,
which is cartilage,
I feel like it would have to be.
This condition usually arises due to high impact or direct trauma to the throat during sporting events like boxing or wrestling.
So yeah,
they weren't very specific. They just said fractured throat.
So he fractured his throat, man. Jesus, I mean, I think I'd rather tear my ACL at that point. You know what I mean? Like, damn, man. It makes my throat uncomfortable thinking about it.
Lions have been in contact with 3 specialists to determine their next course of action with injury. Ragnow's airway is unobstructed and he's able to eat. But he's not supposed to talk or otherwise strain his throat. A fractured throat bone is extremely rare. Typically the product trauma associated with strangulation. Apparently in 2017, Henry Anderson suffered a similar injury that kept him out for 7 games.
He got hit.
Really hard. He got hit in the front of his neck by a running back.
Jesus.
That was for Anderson.
A freaking monster.
And a required season-ending surgery.
That's insane. Hopefully it's not like that for Ryan, because he's having a Pro Bowl type season. The Lions. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Underrated as hell because he's on the Lions. Damn, that sucks. So yeah, going back to the Saints talk we were just having a minute ago, I kind of interrupted it to talk about a fractured throat. Hurts played well in his first game. He kind of had those moments where he was a little head scratching. Yeah. First game jitters, everyone gets those. Beside that, he looked pretty good. Especially for Eagles quarterback in 2020.
Yeah,
above the bar. Definitely.
I mean, the bar wasn't very high to begin with anyway.
He really looked a lot. But he looked a lot faster than what I saw in college.
Same, yeah.
A little quicker. Right.
He looked more agile.
Diet in the NFL.
He looked more agile.
I was shocked. It was cool. I definitely think he definitely secured the spot. most likely for the rest of the season. The locker room, from what I've heard, it is tight around Wentz. They aren't all for blaming Wentz for all the issues, because I think Kelsey, he
Jason.
said it's not on him. Jason Kelsey, it's not on him. I definitely think from what people are saying, oh, he's the future of the Eagles, and you might want to
one game
breaks.
Rookie quarterback, first game. The Saints have like no NFL film on him. They don't know how he's gonna work in the offense. Calm down. His first start. Calm down.
I think the thing I was shocked with is Jalen Reagor. I think Doug Peterson actually listens to our podcast, because Jalen Reagor was out there running slants and stuff for a change. Hallelujah. They used Reagor, and guess what? He had a good game. Because you know what he wasn't doing? He wasn't running straight for 4 quarters. He was running sideways. He was running curls. Did a good job. Surprise. Jalen Reagor is a good receiver when you're not asking him to run straight every play.
Well, didn't Doug Peterson give him his play calling?
He did?
I think so.
Makes even more sense.
I'm pretty positive he gave him his play calling.
I'll take full credit for that, Doug Peterson. You can send me my royalties in the mail later. I got you, bro. Oh, but did he? I don't remember seeing that in the media.
Doug Peterson calls sharing of play calling duties a collaborative effort.
Well, I'll give him.
But he has hinted at giving up play calling duties as of December 4th.
I'm just saying he finally did something with Jalen Reagor.
He said that he's divvying up play calling duties at times, saying it's collaborative and it's my decision to call plays or if I'm going to give them up. It hasn't been a lot, but something I'll consider each week. Listen, I'm still the play caller. If I'm going to be part of the solution of offensive woes, then I'm going to be part of the solution, whatever that takes. You're pretty big reason for those offensive woes there, Peterson. Not gonna lie. All due respect.
Jalen Reagor go for her. Jalen Reagor go straight.
Haha. Jalen Reagor go burr.
Jalen Reagor is now Tyreek, so now just run straight everything, just like Tyreek. Oh wait, Tyreek runs other routes. Nut. So this was my game of the week. Yay. And I actually predicted it correct. I said Washington was going to beat a injured 49ers team, because I feel like 49ers are just not there right now. And that front seven in Washington just continues to be dominant, man.
What else would you expect?
Starting to find his groove. I mean, Chase Young is finally starting to find that groove. Starting to kind of take double teams off of him to focus on the 5 other first-round picks they have on the D-line. And he's starting to feast on the one-on-ones. It's gross. That touchdown, I think he had a sack. Yeah. Just a dominant game. I really love watching Chase Young. He's just... I'm trying to find a good comparison to another NFL player. Like, the only one I can think of is literally like a bigger Khalil Mack. It's pretty much what Young is. He's physical as hell, and he just causes havoc every single play, even when he's double teamed. It's just crazy. And he's a rookie too. Imagine how good he's going to be in like.
And he was injured for a bit of the year too.
Yeah. Washington played spoiler. Now we were going to go back to this. It may seem hypocritical. I don't think if Washington is the team that represents the NFC East, they continue being this hot. I don't think they're just an automatic buy, like some people were predicting how bad this NFC East is. I feel like they could maybe upset the Cardinals if they make it, the Seahawks if they make it.
The Buccaneers.
One of those teams like that. Buccaneers definitely. I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with. I know Alex Smith is dealing with an injury, so I don't know what the severity of that is. Hey, I feel like if they have Smith, the way that offense goes, I don't know, man. Actually, they need to get Gibson back. Gibson, please come back. I'm in the fantasy playoffs and I need your help. Gibson, please come back. You don't understand. I started J.K. Dobbins last week, and yeah, he did good, but please come back. Please.
How do you think I felt after losing Noah Fant, like after like the first drive because he had like food poisoning, and they took him out for COVID concerns and he wasn't allowed to come back?
I think I'm up like 40 points going into the second week of this round, which is nice. But yeah, Steelers Bills. Actually, watch this game. Glorious. I know I shouldn't enjoy watching the Bills as a Patriots fan, huh? That's probably weird, huh?
No,
Enjoying watching the Bills.
I enjoy watching the Bills.
I know, but I'm a Patriots fan, so I should enjoy it.
Wait, you're
Like,
a
I really
Patriots fan
shouldn't
since
enjoy
when?
it. Since 2017, bro. I've been a Patriots fan since 2017. Now a Buccaneers fan. Yeah. Oh, but I love watching Josh Allen play football. It's just, it's great. I kind of made this argument with somebody. I don't know how you think. I don't know if I told you. I said my MVP. If I had to cast an MVP vote right now, it wouldn't be for Mahomes. It wouldn't be for Rodgers. It'd be for Allen.
I would 100% agree with you. Honestly.
No, Mahomes' numbers are still, or Mahomes wins and dominance is, yeah, I get it. Rodgers is having his best statistical season he's had in a long time. Get it. Nobody has carried the team that they're playing for like Allen has been playing for the Bills. I mean, their losses, they lost on the Cardinals' Hail Mary, which probably shouldn't happen. Even their losses, he played well. He's only had like one or two games where you're like, he looked like the old Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Rest, he's looked like a completely different quarterback. And he's really, I had him outside my top 10 before this season.
He's got to be.
You definitely say when I rank my quarterbacks, man, he's gonna be top 5 for me.
Yeah.
I think you have to keep Wilson there. I know he's having a little bit of a rut right now, but I feel like Allen has passed Watson, which was my number 5. Definitely passed Wentz.
Yeah.
You laughed at Wentz a while ago.
I had Wentz at 5, so yeah.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I definitely think when we do the end, I feel like it's going to be like Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson, Allen. Well, I feel like it's going to be something like that. God, it pains me to put Rodgers that high. He lives rent free in my head. I'll be honest. God damn it. I must say though, the Steelers, man, they're just playing bad, man. They are not playing like a 11-2 team.
Yeah, they're
playing like it.
Kind of fallen off a cliff.
I feel like the issue is there's no true back. You know what I mean, in their running backs, they're doing that rotational where they have Connor for like the Snell, and then they have McFarland getting some reps in there. They let Edmonds get some reps. I don't understand what the Steelers are doing. I feel like they need to figure out something quick before the playoffs, or they're in danger of just getting out round 1.
Yeah, I see it. It's sad to say a team that started off 11-0. Yeah,
it's now
sad.
not even considered a top 5 team probably in the league, just because they're so inconsistent and they just aren't playing well. King Henry. That's all I'm going to say about that game. That's all I'm going to say.
Pretty much. That's all you really have to say.
Derrick Henry.
Jaguars finally let Gardner Minshew play towards the end of the game, and he actually produced.
Oh, I mean, the quarterback with like potential.
Yeah.
Played decent. Shocker. I'm out of there. That's messing up the tank. I feel like Minshew should get an opportunity somewhere next year. They really just should trade him. I feel like his value is probably what, a 4th round pick, a 4th rounder for him, and move on. Obviously, don't want him, or they would have been starting him a while ago.
Yeah.
They're going for Justin Fields, pretty much. So,
Poor Minshew.
So, the Jets lost again.
That's all you really can say at this point. Is just Jets lost again.
Every time I write this script, I get to the Jets game, and I don't even have to look at the ESPN score. I don't got to look at box scores. I don't got to look at anything. I just got to say, I just go Jets lose, move on. I mean, what can you say? The team's just terrible, man.
Yeah,
he's still there, and he's probably gonna stay.
If Hugh Jackson.
Oh, you're talking about
if they pull a Browns and Hugh Jackson here, I don't know what in the world you're doing, Jets. That ownership is terrible if you actually do that. Like, it'll be probably cemented as the worst ownership, and there's some pretty bad ownership in the NFL. That'd probably be cemented as the worst ownership if you do that.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, I understand tank. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be the first one to say I don't really like how many teams are tanking in the league. It honestly feels like there's like 4 or 6 teams that are like just actively not trying to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really been big on it. I feel like if it continues, I feel like the NFL is gonna kind of do what the NBA does. Their tanks, and they're just gonna do like a draft lottery.
How does that work? I've never paid too much attention to
so
NBA.
what they do is if you finish if you're the worst team in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a 25% chance of getting the number 1 pick. If you have the second worst record, you have like a 22 point something percent chance, and it goes down. I don't know the exact percentages, but it kind of goes like that. So what happened? Not this draft, but last draft, the Pelicans were like the 8th worst team in the league. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where they had like the 1%. They all of a sudden had number 1 overall pick.
Oh wow!
They were the 8th worst team in the league. They got number 1 overall, and they got one of the most hyped prospects in the last 10 years, Zion Williamson, and they didn't have to tank for him. So it's kind of like that.
That was the kid from Duke, right?
Yeah, Zion Williamson. Yeah.
So
I feel like that could make its way into the NFL. I feel like it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, probably 5 years from now. But if Goodell wants to, say, we should stop tanking, which, I mean, Goodell
bad for business.
That's probably not something Goodell's going to. But if he wanted to, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of them doing a draft lottery. Because, I mean, there's like there's the Jaguars, there's the Jets, there's the Bengals, there's the
Giants.
More. You could have thrown in Washington before they realized they had a chance at winning.
Probably say the Niners at this point.
The Niners. I mean, there's just a lot of teams that are just. I mean, Houston, you could almost say is tanking. Atlanta's definitely not trying.
Yeah.
Lions. I mean, there's just a lot of teams that don't look like that competitive. So they could just say, "Hey, lottery, move on from it." I wouldn't be shocked because there's a lot more teams tanking. Oh yeah, speaking of the Falcons, they lost again.
Whoa. This is supposed to be Choke Fest. The game between the two chokers, and it was a terrible game.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. Didn't even watch the highlights.
Nope. Shout out to Urinating Tree for the recap.
I love Urinating Tree's videos, man. He's one of the most entertaining
by far,
YouTubers when it comes to football. So let's talk about Game of the Year. It was Game of the Year.
Kind of weird how Lamar Jackson played against the Browns twice in the same game.
Listen, man, my man just had to poop. Okay. So first of all, they said he went out with cramping, and I feel like everyone when they said cramping was like, you're taking a poop. But what happened is they showed him going to the locker room, and did not look like he had any cramps. He was running full speed with that for that bathroom. He took a poop and back and threw a touchdown. The play he came back. I mean, I think McSorley got a knee injury. He actually McSorley led him to like the 50-yard line, and then Lamar just threw a bomb to Hollywood. Of course, it didn't start Hollywood because he, wouldn't I? And then
glad I finally decided to start Lamar again.
And then the Browns went down and scored a touchdown in like 20 seconds, which was obviously too much time. And they gave Lamar the ball again, and he led another game-winning drive. It's one Justin Tucker hit like a 56-yarder, 55-yarder for the win. Helped my fantasy a bunch. I appreciate it, Tucker. Being great for like 3 more weeks. That's all I need.
I mean, it's Justin Tucker, so.
He, like you said, he beat the Browns twice. Good man. You just had to poop. One got to poop every now and again. No shame in it.
It's always been intriguing to see.
He's sticking to the Cramps story, but we all know the story. He just had to. Everyone's had to blow up a bathroom in their life now and again. It happens. You live and you learn.
Indubitably, my good sir.
God, I'm looking at the games for next week, and oh boy. Dolphins playing the Patriots in Miami. Miami's only a 3-point favorite. Why does Vegas still really think we're good? Dude, we're not good.
I can't tell you why.
Like they really have Miami as 2.5 home favorites. Which really, I feel like a lot of bettors kind of put 3 points for the home team. So they're pretty much saying that we were favored to win, which is stupid because we're not. We shouldn't be. Anyway, I digress.
What's your game of the week?
I'm looking at the games. I feel like I'm not going to go the obvious answer because there's an obvious answer. I'm not going to go obvious answer. There is very obvious answer actually.
Okay.
I'm going to go Seahawks Washington. Washington back-to-back weeks with the game of the week. I'm high on Washington. I'm high on what they're doing. And I really do think that they're going to give Seattle a run for their money. Seattle's favored 5 points. I honestly think Washington can win by 3. I think they beat that spread. I mean, I feel like, especially if they get Gibson back, which I don't know. I haven't heard the rundown on him yet. But if Gibson comes back, I'd give it to him, man.
I hate you.
I can't see.
That was my game of the week.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, my condolences.
Just because I don't want to go with the obvious one of Chiefs Saints, I'm going to go with the Suckfest, the 49ers and Cowboys.
Oh, that's going to be a game. Oh, that's going to be a game.
And it's Sunday night, too. Sunday night, prime time. It's prime time.
It's prime time? No, it's not. 12 p.m. Central time.
Oh, I guess the website I'm using is outdated.
Yeah, the Monday night game is Steelers Bengals. The Sunday night game is Browns Giants.
Oh, I guess they flexed it. Okay, never mind. The website I'm using is outdated.
Oof. But yeah, Saints Chiefs play. That's going to be a good game. I haven't heard if the Saints are going to start Breeze or not yet.
I think they're starting to taste him. Honestly, I think that's what's expected right now. I don't think Breeze is back yet.
Sorry,
I think we both have been yawning throughout this entire podcast. We're both tired.
I was actually going to take a nap, and then I realized we hadn't recorded yet. If I take a nap and then record, I'm going to feel like a piece of poop. So,
and I woke up at 4 a.m., so...
Oof. Okay, let's try to get this done. Both nap, because I need a nap, like motherfucker.
I can't nap.
I'm going to go with my fantasy first and then get it out of the way.
Okay.
If all of y'all on fantasy, I hate the 2-week format. I despise the 2-week format. especially as a team that shouldn't even be in the playoffs. It sucks at scoring points. I've won all my game by scoring like 110 points. Hate it. I despise it. I'm sure most people love it because it's chaotic and I hate it. But this week, there's a lot of really bad teams playing good teams. I think the number one thing is the Browns are going to be pissed off. I think Chubb and Hunt are both good starts against the Giants defense, who I'm not high on their tackling.
Start the Browns defense.
I feel like, and the Browns, especially if Daniel Jones is playing quarterback. Another game that's going to be interesting for fantasy is Buccaneers Falcons. Bucs defense has been somewhat solid, but they're having issues controlling the ball. The Falcons just throw the ball every play because they don't really have a running game. So
poor Gurley.
Be interesting. It could be some Gurley, I think, is injured or something like that. I feel like Matt Ryan's gonna be slinging the ball. Hey, start every single receiver on the Bucs that's not named Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's kind of doo-doo. Scotty Miller had a touchdown last game.
My boy,
your guy. He literally just ran past every single Viking.
Yes.
And finally, I do this every week. I'm going to continue. If you have any Rams player, start him. You're playing the Jets. Start your Rams players. I'm going to go on free agency and pick up some Rams players just for this week because God, I need it. And
before I pick up all the Rams players because I'm not even in playoffs just to screw you over.
Listen, bro, you did that with Taysom. No.
I still have Taysom rostered too.
No. Well, actually, I have two good quarterbacks. So I don't need Taysom, but yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. The Bills play the Broncos. Hey, Stephon Diggs is about to get like 160 yards.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a murder. I have Stephon Diggs too, so hey. Fantasy, I'm actually going to go pick up. Yeah, those are my fantasy players in the week. If y'all are in the playoffs, good luck because I hate playoffs and God, I despise the format.
Guess who just picked up Cam Akers?
I'm winning 144 to 101 this playoff.
I just picked up Cam Akers, by the way.
I am projected to win. Also, screw you.
For my college player of the week, I'm going to go with someone probably a bit under the radar. He was actually just named Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Year. I'm talking about Davian Nixon, interior defensive lineman out of Iowa. This is actually the first time I'm talking about an interior defensive lineman for my college player of the week. We've talked about interior defensive line prospects before because we talked about Marvin Wilson, I think last week or the week before. This year this week we're talking about Davion Taylor from Iowa, 6'3", 305 pounds. I believe he was a JUCO before he went to Iowa. He has great scheme versatility. He can play a one-gap penetrator or two-gap defender. His quickness and power is great. He has great burst and elite get-off, especially for an interior defensive lineman. His strong hands and sheds blocks well. His cons, he has a learning disability, so who knows how teams are going to try and handle that or how they'll grade him just for having a learning disability. Some teams will probably take him off their board completely. That's just how it works. This is his first year of actually starting full-time. Last year he was a role player but still played very well. And as of right now, he provides his most value as an interior rusher. And while he has improved in the run game, he needs to show a bit more consistency. I honestly think he could probably add a few more pounds too. Maybe get up to about 310 to 315. I think that'd be best for him. Projected, I'd probably put him in the second to third round. But with a great combine, if he has a great combine, I could easily see him rising into the first. Going with the likes of, say... Because this is a pretty weak interior defensive lineman class. You could probably see him be the first or second off the board.
See, that's the one thing that teams I've noticed in the draft board is they have a need somewhere. Even in like a position weak draft, they draft for need over best available.
Yep.
And I feel like that always comes back. Like I think the number one option I think is LJ Collier, the Seahawks. Remember, it wasn't a deep pass rush class. They felt they needed an edge rusher, and they drafted Collier, and
I've always I've always strongly disliked that draft strategy. I hate that strategy for drafting.
I honestly, and that's at least my opinion.
Like
I
if
always
you're
feel
going
like
to
he's
draft
the
a
best
position
available.
need, at least draft the best available at a position of need. So it's not like your number one need, but you're still filling a need, and it's a good player who's still available. Not like you're drastically reaching for that number one need.
Like another example is when the Jacksonville Jaguars took Tavon Bryant first. They didn't need him.
No.
He still hasn't even been able to get on the depth chart because there's been so much talent in front of him. And it's just, I still feel like you need to find a difference between need something and you want something in the NFL. A lot of people just think, oh, we need a detect. No, you just stick to your board. Draft like the Ravens. Draft like the Ravens, man.
Yeah.
It's just amazing me. Every other Ravens just sit there. They manage to take great players every single year, and it's frustrating. It's fun to watch.
It'd be like the Jets this year, but say it was like the 2013 draft class of quarterbacks, and instead of like taking, I don't know, let's see, instead of taking the best player who's not a quarterback, say they take Penei Sewell or Micah Parsons or Greg Rousseau, just because they're best available at a position need. It'd be like the Jets in the 2013 class, and they just go, "We're gonna draft Geno Smith number one overall," just because it fills the biggest position of need.
All right, well, it was a week. It wasn't our most energetic episode. Okay, so we're a little.
We're both extremely tired.
I have no reason to be tired. I didn't do anything today. I'm on my break.
I woke up at 4
I'm
and
just tired.
worked all day.
Oh, I'm tired. I couldn't tell you. But oh man, we get some Thursday night football, and we get Saturday football, and Sunday football, and Monday football. Gonna be interesting. I just wish they'd scrap Saturday football and put it on Monday night.
For real,
We don't get
football. Saturday football's college. Come on now, stop trying to overreach NFL.
I don't understand why they do it later in the season. I guess this is to make more games available on Sunday. I don't know. I never understood that logic.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not complaining. It's some extra football. I would say I could watch college, but Georgia Tech kind of sucks. So.
Very much so. So does Georgia. So I feel you. Actually, been much better with JT Daniels, but still.
Yeah. You're going to be pretty decent with Daniels.
Yeah, we were scoring like, I think it was 29 points a game without JT Daniels, and since JT Daniels has started, it's been 40 plus.
Wow. I just was not ready. All right. Well, I think we should probably end the episode because people want to hear our tired ramblings.
Yeah.
So hopefully this week's better than last week of football, and hopefully there's not many tank bowls. Looking at you, Jets. Stop tanking. Just win a game. I want to put Jets win, please. I want to make fun of the team that loses to you.
I mean, both of our teams almost did, and so did the Raiders. We're so close.
We were chubby Nick Folk away from losing that game.
Is that a new nickname instead of like Fat Randy? We have Chubby Nick.
Bro, Nick Folk is not chubby, but the way his batting looks is the man looks like he's got.
Does he have
guts,
like full playing? Does he have like a flat jacket and like
he's got he wears a flak jacket because he's dealing with back injuries this season.
Okay.
He wears a flak jacket. He literally looks like he's like 260 pounds. Man's not, but it's funny. I call him Chubby Nick Folk every time he kicks. He's been good this season too. I'm like really good.
Brandon McManus was doing really well. Then he decided he wanted to miss 2 of 4 extra points against the Panthers, which was very frustrating for my fantasy team.
All right, but we'll see y'all next week on the Belichick's Bitches podcast.